It's July 15, 2026, 6:41 p.m. February 20th, 2023. I was in St. George, South Carolina at the M Market gas station that's connected to that subway. And I saw this one dude sitting in the car with this chubby caramel skin lady. She had worked at the Walmart distribution center in Ridgeville, South Carolina that I started working at in March of 2022 and stopped working at in January of 2023. Every time I used to go to work, I used to see this lady like smiling and grinning at me. She was from St. George. I saw that everybody that was living in St. George, I saw the ones that was working at that distribution center, right? And anytime I be talking to somebody, I see that lady like peeking around the aisleway, grinning and smiling at me. But one day, like I said, I'm at the gas station. I walk in the gas station, ask this one dude if he has some weed on him. You know what I'm saying? Because I was trying to get high. And I like, to allow that, bro. I'm just trying to get a little quick $10 sack. You know what I'm saying? And he like, or $20 sack. He like, asked my cousin, he got some. I'm like, who? He like, that dude that's about to get out of the car right there. So this one dude hopped out the car, and he was hopping out of the same car with the caramel skin girl that was in the car. And this lady used to always be grinning and smiling at me with like a look of mockery on her face, yo. This is on February 20th, 2023, around like 8:50 something p.m., I believe. And I know it was nighttime. And dude walk in the gas station. I'm like, hey, what up, bro? You know what loud at? He said, he like, I don't know you. I'm like, yeah, your cousin said you got some loud. He's like, I don't know you. I'm like, yeah, bro, like, is that a no? Your cousin said you got some loud. You feel me? He like, yeah, but I don't know you though. I don't know you though. And he already knew that he was out of line because he started putting his foot behind his left foot like he was getting on guard, getting ready to get swung, like I was about to swing on him. So I'm looking at him like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm looking at his hands trying to see if he about to put his hands up because I'm thinking to myself, he about to do that, I'm going to just swing because I don't know what he on. I don't know this dude. He was like, I don't know you though. I don't know you though. And I'm like, bro, it ain't like you moving weight. Like, I'm just asking for a quick little nickel bag, bro. Little $10 sack, I mean. You know what I'm saying? And then I was like, all right, bro, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Walked up out of there. Then I saw the caramel skin lady sitting in the car, like grinning and smiling at me, the chubby girl. And I just overlooked it. Right? I recorded a video on my phone. I never uploaded this video on the internet. I never uploaded this video on any social media platform. I never shared this video. I just recorded a video on my phone when I left from that gas station on February 20th, 2023 in St. George, South Carolina. That was on Jim Building Boulevard at the End Market gas station that was connected to that subway. And I recorded a video just talking about the weird shit that's going on. Talking about this one lady that was sitting in the car with a grin on her face. I've seen her before. Talking about how this one dude just like started telling me he didn't know me. He talking like he moved, he a kingpin or like he Escobar or something. I don't know what's on. And I just left it alone. I left it all alone completely. And I think somebody hacked into that video and uploaded that video on the internet. I never uploaded that video on the internet. No social media platform. So, probably like an hour later, this one dude called my phone up and told me he had some weed or whatever. And I had called that dude phone up for like the last 2 weeks and didn't get a response. So I truly believe that one of my cousins went through my phone, went through my Google Photos, watched that video, and then reached out to somebody who practically just stopped fucking with me as far as like selling me, giving me weed goes and whatever. And he hit me up like, yeah, man, what's up, whatever. And I came through and got some weed, got high. And then I also put a couple posts up on Facebook, but I took it down and I just said, hey, man, I've been peaceful as long as I can remember because I thought about some of the stuff that I was talking about as far as being aggravated in St. George. People keep starting up this personal alliance against me, making a mockery of me and stuff like that. So I took it all down. And after that, I seen that dude like a year later at the same exact gas station. Like, hey, what's up, man? I'm like, oh, what up? You been all right, bro? And then he like, yeah. You remember me? I'm like, you look kind of familiar. You know what I'm saying? And he like, yeah, I used to talk to so-and-so like right down the street from you on the Quaker Road. I'm like, oh, I ain't even know. But I realized that was that same dude that was saying that stuff like the other year. You know, he was like, I don't know you though. So I seen that dude like a year later. He just said, what's up? He told me he used to talk to some lady that stayed on the Quaker Road. I talked about also, one day I was at the Piggly Wiggly grocery store, right? I walked up out of there. I saw this one dude walking with a Detroit fitted on. And it looked like this dude, older brother, that I used to know way back in the day, way back in like the year of 2000, 1999, in my elementary school that I went to, this Catholic school that I went to in the 4th grade and 5th grade, this school called St. Christina Gym. It was this dude named Shamar I used to be cool with. That was one of my childhood best friends. And he had an older brother named Kenneth. I wasn't cool with Kendall like that. My older sister knew him, but Shamar was like my dog, you know what I'm saying? I hung out with that nigga. And I saw this one dude at the Piggly Wiggly in the parking lot, and he hopped in his truck and then just pulled off real fast, and he peeled out, and he had on the Detroit fitted on, and I'm like, that look like this dude named Kendall from back in the day, and I said that to myself, and I was like, what the fuck, is that him? I'm thinking to myself, is that him? Last time I seen that dude Kendall, yo, I still remember this. This was in the summertime of 2008. I lived in Rosedale Park area on Granville and Eden. I'm walking over to Stopel Park. I see this one dude cutting grass, and he was like, hey, it ain't looking. He's like, oh, what up, bro? He like, you remember me? I'm like, oh, what up, nigga? He like, it ain't looking too good for your homeboy, man. I'm like, who? He like, Shamar. I'm like, man, I ain't seen that nigga since like 2002, 2001 or something like that. I'm like, he been all right though? And he told me that he went to court for something. He went to he been held and in jail for something like that. He said something about how he told the judge, fuck you, or some shit like that. And I was like, oh, tell that nigga I said what up next time you see him or whatever. He told me it was like in jail or something like that. This is in the summertime of 08. So he gave me Shamar number. You know what I'm saying? This dude named Shamar Williams. But when I called out to his phone, I remember his mom answered the phone and she like, who this? I'm like, this Alvin. She like, Alvin? I'm like, yeah, but I never followed up. I never called back or anything like that. Before that, the last time I seen that dude was way back in like the year 2000 or 2001 or something like that. The last time I seen his little brother Shamar was in like 2001 or 2002. They had like a carnival. They used to always do a carnival at the school we used to go to. That was off of like 96 freeway and around Lasher Street on the west side of Detroit. This Catholic school called St. Christina Gemma that I went to when I was in the 4th grade and I was in the 5th grade. You know what I'm saying? My 4th grade year, I had a teacher named Miss Louise. My 5th grade year, I had a teacher named Miss Siski. And this dude named Shamar Williams, that was one of my main homeboys, yo. But I said, ain't no way that's that nigga, yo. Like, ain't no way that's that nigga older brother, because he would have said something or, you know what I'm saying? But when I looked over, like, is that him? He peeled out. He pulled off fast as shit. And another thing, I talked about also, this is in like the springtime of 2024, I believe, probably around like March or April 2024. I do know it was warm outside. I saw this light-skinned lady standing outside that looked like she was about 15 years old. I saw another lady that was older that looked like she was about 40 years old. Light-skinned lady with curly hair. She looked like she could have been a girl mama. And then I saw this dark-skinned dude standing with them. The dark-skinned dude that was standing with them, I thought it was my cousin Shamar's little cousin Shaquem. Look, Shaquem is like 18, 19 years old. He stayed next door to the house that's on the Quaker Road. Like I said, when I first moved to St. George, South Carolina, December 10, 2018, I lived on Infinger Road with my Aunt Ethel in St. George, South Carolina. By March 2022, I moved to the house that was on the Quaker Road. My Aunt Grace Brown, she stayed in the house on Windham Road about 5 miles away from the house that was on the Quaker Road with her husband, Uncle Arthur Lee Brown, but he passed away in like November of 2024. So after he passed away, she moved back to that house on the Quaker Road. She owned that house on the Quaker Road, but she didn't literally live there. It was a couple times when she used to come there and just rest and kick her feet up, but she didn't like spend weeks in that house. So the room that I slept in inside of that house, it was in a room that looked more like my auntie's room because my dad used to come into that house on the Quaker Road to go to sleep. You know, randomly, he'd just pop up sometime and just go in that room and go to sleep and go and rest and stuff like that. The house on the Quaker Road. So I never slept in that bed that my dad was sleeping in that room because they don't tell him when he was gonna pop up. So the room that I slept in was my Aunt Grace room, I believe, because there was a bunch of antique stuff in that room. It was a bunch of pictures, a bunch of mirrors on the dresser, all that shit, yo. So the point I'm making is, one day I locked myself in that room by mistake because when you close that door, you can only open it from the outside. If you close that door all the way, you can only open it from the outside. If you lock it, you know what I'm saying? You can only open it from the outside. So I jumped out the front window one time, the room window, and then went back around the front, and then went back in the house. It was one time I jumped out that window and then tried to go into the bathroom window because I made a mistake of lock myself in that room. And the only way I can get out is if somebody came and opened up the door or if I jumped out the window. So if somebody like made up some lie, tried to say I was jumping out of a window doing some weird shit, I'm being lied on, I'm being framed. And again, in like the springtime of 2024, before I left St. George, South Carolina, I left St. George, South Carolina originally June 27, 2024, yo. Got on the flight, left from Charleston, South Carolina. But it was this gay lady standing outside. She a town boy, but she know my whole family. She go back with them, you know what I'm saying? She got a brother, this bald head dude that stayed next to the house on the Quaker Road. So if you walk outside on the Quaker Road, right, to your left, it's the house that's right next, that's the very next house to the left. And It's this bald head older guy that lived there. He like 50 some years old. He know my whole family. 40 some years old. He know my whole family, but he got a sister. You know what I'm saying? She was standing in front of the house on this particular day with the light skinned lady that like she was about 40 some years old with the curly hair, but the younger lady that was light skinned also that like she was about 15 years old, and also with the dude that I thought was my cousin Shamar, little cousin Shakeem. But the dude from afar, I was looking at all of this from the bathroom window. So I'm looking out the bathroom window and I'm like, I think that's my little cousin Shakeem, but look, my little cousin Shakeem don't got a gut though. And it's like this dude had a gut. And he had like little mini braids. So I walk outside of the bathroom after I get out because I was in the shower when I heard, like when I saw that. You know what I'm saying? I just so happened to look out the window. The window in the bathroom, right? It got blinds up on the window. So I just so happened to be, I was in the shower and then I like heard or something. And I look out and I looked through the blinds and I saw this light-skinned lady like she was about 15, another light-skinned lady that was like she was about 40 some years old. And then I saw this dark-skinned dude. And I said it looked kind of like this dude named TJ, but Shakeem, this dude named Shakeem, I said, I think that's Shakeem because Shakeem had braids. He was dark-skinned also. And he was about the same height as me or a little bit taller than me. So, and it was also the lady that lived next door who stayed with her brother, the bald-head dude. So I said, okay, all of them were standing in front of the house on the Quaker Road, on the walkway. You know what I'm saying? The house on the Quaker Road got like a little mini like walkway that sits on the grass in the center of the grass in front of the house. In front of the house. So by the time I walked outside, they was gone. So I said before, if that was that dude TJ, if that was Anthony Blackman, yo, that means that my whole family is keeping me outside of some type of a fucked up secret, because ain't no way a nigga from my old neighborhood that I ain't seen since the year 2013 go come to a small town like St. George, South Carolina and be standing in front of the house that I live at. My mom been cloned too, but she told me that that dude is in jail. I went on that SZA account, not music at all, I swear, and I saw this one dude that looked like TJ, and I said, if it's a possibility that the same dude from my old neighborhood is talking to celebrities, that means that my whole family is blocking my phone away from reality of the internet. They reached out to a crooked judge that gave some type of an approval to depict me to look like I'm mentally retarded or suicidal, to the point where they said, okay, I'm going to give you quote unquote surveillance watch over his phone. But in reality, what they're really saying is I'm going to give you access to hack his phone, socialize with numerous people, lie on his image, defame him, frame him, make him look mentally retarded, and keep him away from being heard. So if anybody sends him a message, we go give you access to basically turn that person around and not even be able to talk to him. I talked about when I was on my Snapchat in 2023 in St. George, South Carolina, people was reaching out to me saying, what's your Cash App? What's your Cash App? And I was like, no, don't ask me for no Cash App. Because when I was working at Walmart Distribution Center, you know what I'm saying, I got fired in January 2023. But when I was working there, ain't nobody asked me what my Cash App was. Everybody was moving in a fucked up, rude, messy way. So I was like, no, don't ask me for a Cash App. But I think somebody hacked into my account, looked at the messages on Snapchat, because there was a bunch of people asking me what my Snapchat was. And I think they made their own Snapchat and then socialized back and forth with somebody and lied on my image and depicted me to look like that I was talking to somebody on Snapchat that I was never talking to, because I talked about how I tried to record videos on Snapchat and every time I hit the microphone icon, it would not unmute. It was on permanent mute. I talked about that. Another thing, if it's a video of somebody doing something with me sexual on a Quaker Road, on Enfinger Road, or a statement or anything that happens, somebody let me know as soon as possible, because the only way that's possible is if my aunties or somebody else nearby put drugs in my food with the intent to get me to go into a deep state of unresponsive unconsciousness, yo, because the only time I engaged in sex in St. George, South Carolina was in November 2021 with this lady named Shar. That was one time in St. George, South Carolina. In February 2022, I engaged in sex with this lady named Martha. She lied to me when I first met her in early February 2022 and said her name was Alicia. It wasn't. It was Martha. That was in February 2022, yo, when I engaged in sex with her. And that was the only time I engaged in sex with her. One time and one time only. That was in Reedsville, South Carolina. Reedsville, South Carolina is a small town right next to St. George, South Carolina. In June 2021, I messed with this one lady in Walterboro, South Carolina. Received oral sex from her in Walterboro, South Carolina. And July of 2021, I messed with this lady in Holly Hill, South Carolina. Received oral sex from her in Holly Hill, South Carolina. And that's the whole rap sheet of all the times that I engaged in sex when I was living in St. George, South Carolina. So what I believe people have been doing for a long time is lying on my image. And I think somebody raped me in my sleep in St. George, South Carolina, recorded me, and then uploaded a video under my account with the intent to sabotage me, to look like that I'm knowingly uploading videos of me getting raped in my sleep and trying to make it look like that I wasn't getting raped in my sleep, trying to make it look like that I'm normally passing around pictures of videos of me. So I said this before. February 7, 2026, when I went to this one lady named Athea home in Lehigh Acres, and I asked her if I could use her Wi-Fi. That was my first time talking to that lady. That was my first time seeing that lady and her family. You know what I'm saying? And that lady went in the back room for like 5 to 10 minutes with my cell phone. I truly believe that something got uploaded on my account with the intent to sabotage and frame my image. So that's like me. This is just an example. I never done what I'm about to explain. You know what I'm saying? This is just an example. That's like me drugging some lady food, taking advantage of her, and then recording her, and then uploading it under her account and passing it around to other people. And then when everybody start coming around, that lady saying, hey, why you put that video up on the internet? She be like, what you talking about? She like, you put that video up on the internet, you having sex with that one man. And then she be like, no, that man I ain't do nothing with that man. You know what I'm saying? He drugged me. And then don't nobody believe her. So I think people try to do that to me. And that's just an example that I just gave. But can't no lady ever say that I forced myself on her. Can't no lady say I ever tried to date rape her. Can't no lady say I ever put a pill in her drink or anything like that, yo. Like I said, back in the day when I was engaging in sex, anytime, especially in my 20s, when I was engaging in sex with these ladies, I was the one that would have the liquor. I was the one that the lady was telling me, like, hey, can you not drink tonight? Can you not smoke tonight? You know what I'm saying? I didn't need to have somebody getting drunk with me in order for me to get intoxicated. Last time I smoked a drink was February 2023, yo. And like I said, when I uploaded a post up on Facebook on February 20th, 2023, and I basically like diffused whatever I was saying because I thought about it, and I said, okay, people probably go take this upload, not this upload, but this post that I put up on Facebook, and they'll try to make me look crazy. They'll try to take this and get me put in jail again. Because ever since December 1st, 2022, I came to the realization there's nothing but illegal activity that's ongoing in St. George, South Carolina, and it's people that's covering for the illegal activity people. So with that being said, like I said, this isn't like, I remember it was cold outside, and I saw this dude, it looked like this dude named Kenneth, yo, that went to St. Christina Gemma, and he was in the same class with my sister, I believe, because me and my sister Alicia was in this class called Miss Louise class in 4th grade at St. Christina Gemma. And then by 5th grade, we had a teacher named Miss Siski. When I was in the 4th grade, my sister Keisha was in the 6th grade. When me and my sister Alicia was in the 5th grade, my sister Keisha was in the 7th grade. And it was this dude named Kenneth. I think that he was I think he was 1 year older than me and my sister Alicia. So I think I think he was in the same class with my sister Keisha, yo. But it was this dude named Shamar, yo, Shamar Williams. That used to be one of my childhood best friends. I ain't seen that nigga since like 2001, yo. And like I said, in the summertime of 2008, I was walking down eating. I saw this one nigga cutting grass. I'm like, oh, what up, bro? You been all right? You know what I'm saying? He was like, yeah, what's up? It ain't looking too good for your homeboy, man. He was talking about this nigga named Shamar. He was like, that nigga, he said he in a jail or something like that. I'm like, hey, what's that nigga number? Got that, got the dude, Shamar number, called out to that number, never got a response, never called out again after that. You know what I'm saying? That was in the summertime of 2008. Before the summertime of 2008, last time I seen that nigga Shamar was in like 2001. Last time I seen his brother was probably like 2000 or something like that, yo. And I ain't gonna lie, yo. Matter of fact, me and my sister Keisha and my sister Alicia was on a service drive of Southfield Freeway in the summertime of 2008, yo. This was like a month before I ran into that dude Kenneth. This just came to mind. Keisha and Alicia was laughing. I don't know if this is true about this dude now, but I'm about to speak on. Keisha and Alicia was laughing because they was like, "Ooh, he's spicy," you know, because the dude Kenneth was like, "Take my number down." He saw my sister Keisha and my sister Alicia and me sitting in the car. We had just left from Southfield. We was on the service drive on the Southfield Freeway service drive on Finkel and Southfield, driving back toward where we lived at on Granville and Eaton. And he yelled out his phone number to Keisha and Alicia and them, but ain't none of us ever take his phone number down. You know what I'm saying? About a month later, I'm walking down Eaton, and this dude was doing landscaping work. He was cutting grass at this house that was on Westwood and Eaton. And I'm like, oh, what up, bro? You been all right? You know what I'm saying? He like, yeah, man. He like, it ain't looking too good for your boy, man. I'm like, who? He like, Shamar. That nigga in jail. Because he got a little brother named Shamar Williams. That was one of my childhood best friends, you feel me? So, with everything being said that I just spoke on, if that was that nigga Kenneth Williams at that Piggly Wiggly parking lot That I walked up out of the Piggly Wiggly one day and I saw this dude in the parking lot. If that was Kenneth Williams, though, that means everybody in my family is maintaining the lie over my name. I talked about that SZA account, not music at all, I swear. I talked about how the whole time I lived in California, I reached out to this lady. I reached out to her when I was living in St. George, South Carolina. I reached out to other female celebrities. I never got a response. I reached out to a lot of people that I went to high school with back in the day on Facebook. Never got a response. Never. That's what made me come to the realization that there is a block on my phone. My family in South Carolina put a block on my phone. When somebody sends me a message, it does not register as an incoming message or an incoming call. It goes to their phone and it lights up a notification or an alert on their phone. You know what I mean? So with that being said, that's why I recorded a video in like the summertime of 2023 when I walked inside of the I walked inside of the Circle K gas station. There was this older lady in there that was like 40-something years old. I was like, hey, send me a friend request on Facebook. I'm trying to see something right quick. She sent me a friend request. This was on Gym Building Boulevard at the Circle K gas station that's connected to that Taco Bell. She sent me a friend request. Her phone immediately started ringing like it was an automatic system synchronized with my Facebook that sent out an outgoing call to anybody that sent me a fucking friend request. That's how they was able to isolate me. Then I was asking her, what is they saying? What's the phone call saying? What is they saying? That's ironic. That's too weird that as soon as you send me a friend request, you get an incoming call. She wasn't telling me what they were saying. She was just on the phone like, okay. And then I went to the End Market gas station that's connected to the subway on Gym Building Boulevard also, about a quarter mile down the street from the Circle K gas station. This is in the summertime or the springtime of the year of 2023 in St. George, South Carolina. I asked this white dude. The white dude is probably like 18, 19 years old. I'm like, hey, bro, send me a friend request right quick on Facebook. I'm trying to see something. That man went on my Facebook, and it wasn't even optional to send a friend request. It was just my Facebook just sitting there. It wasn't even an option to send a friend request. So I went into my settings, and I checked my settings. And my settings was set to public for the public to be able to send me a friend request if they wanted to. So that means that they put a block or a lock on my account the moment somebody sent me a friend request. So that's what I realized what happened. A long time ago, a block got put on my phone. Every time somebody sent me a message or sent out an outgoing call or anything, it never registered to my phone. That's how my phone was able to get hacked the whole time I was in Los Angeles, California. And that's why a bunch of men that were affiliated with Masons and Eastern Stars were reaching out to gang members and telling them to hack my phone. That's why I was niggas walking around the shelters hacking in my phone all day. I can't make this up. And I talked about that Not Music at All, I Swear account with SZA because I said, that's like this one dude named TJ, but I said to myself, if that dude or if anybody that's a celebrity has reached out to anybody from my old neighborhood, that means that they reached out to me a long time ago, because there's no way that I'm talking about all this stuff that's going on in my life. I'm releasing all these videos, and then some female celebrity is going to reach out to somebody from my old neighborhood that I talked about in the video or something, and then not reach out to me. So I said, ain't no way that's that nigga TJ. Ain't no way. I said the same exact thing when I looked out the window, the bathroom window, way back in like early springtime of 2024. I said, ain't no way that's that nigga TJ. Because that nigga, like, ain't no way somebody be standing in front of the house and then just not come knock on the door. And when I got up out the shower and walked up outside, all of them was gone. The lady that stayed next door on the left side of me was gone. The light-skinned lady that like she was 40-something years old that was curly hair was gone. The younger light-skinned lady that like she was about 15 years old was gone. And also the dark-skinned dude that I thought was my little cousin Shakeem. That was my cousin Shamar's cousin, Shakeem. You know what I'm saying? He was gone. And he had a pops named Sean, but his pops, Sean, passed away. I think that was in like December of 2019. But I remember his pops when I used to come to the Quaker Road in St. George, South Carolina, way back like 1995 and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That was back when I was 5, so he was probably like 10 or 11 years old back in them days. But I was coming to St. George way back in them days. That's how I was able to see who all worked at the Walmart distribution center in Ridgeville, South Carolina. That was from St. George, South Carolina when I started working there. And a lot of ladies, the moment they saw me working in that warehouse, a lot of them formed up a shitty alliance. A lot of ladies that was living in St. George formed up a shitty alliance. And they started telling everybody all over them distribution centers negative, scandalizing statements and lies about me, yo. I'm not exaggerating. So, like I said, I looked over and I was like, what the fuck? At one point in time, I was in deep belief that maybe My teacher way back in elementary school days, and my teacher Miss Louise and my teacher Miss Siski, it was a Catholic school called St. Christina Gemma that I went to from 1999 to 2000, and then from 2000 to 2001. You know what I'm saying? St. Christina Gemma, a Catholic school. When I was in the 4th grade and in the 5th grade, when I was in the 3rd grade and also in the 2nd grade, I went to an elementary school called Holcomb Elementary. When I was in the 1st grade, I went to a school called Newberry in Southwest Detroit. You know what I'm saying? Elementary school called Newberry. When I was in kindergarten, I went to the school called Dixon. So, and that was off of like Tireman or something like that. Me and my sisters went to a school called Dixon. And when I was in the 6th grade, I went to the school called UPS that was right behind Cass Tech. As a matter of fact, I flunked the 6th grade when I went to UPS. And the second time, my second year of 6th grade, when I went to this school called UPS, the year that I flunked, and I came back to that same school, that was when they started building the brand new Cass Tech. You know what I'm saying? So from 2001 to 2002, I went to this school called Universal Public Schools, or UPS. And then from 2002 to 2003, I went to UPS again. I went to there for the 6th grade again. Then I went to a school called Bernie Middle School from 2003 to 2004. Me and my sister Alicia went to Bernie Middle School. I was in the 7th grade. She was in the 8th grade. And my sister Keisha was in the 10th grade. She was going to Southfield Lathrop High. And that was around the same time my mom, ex-husband, daughter had came from Africa. And she was in the 9th grade at that time. She was in the same grade as my sister Alicia, I believe. No, or she was in the, my sister Alicia was in the 8th grade around that time when my mom, ex-husband, daughter, Ajay came from Africa. And then from 2004 to 2005, I was in the 8th grade. And my sister Alicia was going to Southfield Lathrop High in the 9th grade. And my sister Keisha was going to Southfield Lathrop High. She was in the 11th grade. And my mom, ex-husband, daughter, Aja, or Fatima, she was in the 10th grade at that time. That was from 2004 to 2005. And in the fall time of 2004, I went to Arthur Ashe Academy, but they changed the name of it to Southfield Regional Academic Campus by like December of 2004. And I was trying to graduate on time. I was trying to get promoted up a grade, and I was in a program called the LEAP program. And then they told me by January 2005 that they chose to not let me be promoted. And I was mad because some of the same people that they promoted in that same exact year, I was helping them out with their schoolwork. I still remember it was this dude named Graham, this girl named Angel, this dude named Stanley. They all walked in I still remember the principal, Mr. Dixon, walking in the classroom that we was in. Arthur Ashe Academy, all the boys was in one class and all the girls was in another class. And then we had specific classes at times when the boys and the girls was together. And it was 8th graders in that class, 9th graders in that class, and 7th graders in that class, because Arthur Ashe Academy or Southfield Regional Academic Campus was an alternative school. You know what I'm saying? It was a school to help you graduate. Then I left in January, February time of 2005. I went back to Bernie Middle School because I was mad that they didn't promote me to the right grade. And I was telling them it was people in this class that, you know what I'm saying, I was helping out with their schoolwork. So it was times I got into fights and stuff like that at that school with people that was in the 9th grade. When I was in the 7th grade going to Bernie Middle School, I was like fighting people that was in the 8th grade. You know what I'm saying, at Bernie Middle School. When I graduated in the spring of 2005 from Bernie Middle School, I went to Southfield Lathrop High, the next year after that, from 2005 to 2006. I was in the 9th grade. My twin sister Alicia was in the 10th grade. My sister Keisha was in the 12th grade. Fatima was in the 11th grade. You know what I'm saying? And then I went to Southfield Lathrop High that whole freshman year. And then I chose to go back to Southfield Regional Academic Campus from the year of 06 to 07. And by that time, it was called Southfield Regional Academic Campus, and I was no longer called Arthur Ashe Academy. It was called SRAC, or Southfield Regional Academic Campus. The rules had changed when I came back to go to that school the second time around, because when I went there from the year 2004 to 2005, from like October 2004 to January 2005, 7th and 8th graders was in that school. But by the time I came back, you know what I'm saying, from the year to 2006 to from 2006 to 2007, the rules was you could only be in the 10th grade. They did not have 9th graders in there. It wasn't 8th graders in there. It wasn't 7th graders in there. You can only be in the 10th grade, 11th grade, or 12th grade. And that school was mainly specifically to help you graduate from the school that you went to, Southfield Lathrop High School or Southfield High School. So anybody that graduated from that school, they either walked across the stage at Southfield High School or Southfield Lathrop High School. You know what I'm saying? So from the year of 2006 to 2007, I went to Southfield Regional Academic Campus. I was practically in between the 10th and 11th grade. You know what I'm saying? Because I was taking 10th grade classes and 11th grade classes. And then I went to summer school for the summertime of 2007 at Southfield Lathrop High. You know what I'm saying? I took summer school classes at Southfield Lathrop High, and they was mainly for the classes at SRAC though. And then after I took summer school classes at Southfield Lathrop High, I went back to Southfield Regional Academic Campus for my year of 2007 to 2008 year. And I took night classes on Mondays and Wednesdays from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then Tuesdays and Thursdays, I took night classes from 5 a.m. to 5 p.m. And then on Fridays, I got off at regular time around 2 something p.m. And like September of 2007, I had got kicked out. I got suspended, for smoking weed with some of my friends. And I ended up moving in with my pops in Southfield, Michigan in like October or September time of 2007. And I stayed at his home all the way up until like the end of the school year. You know what I'm saying? From like October 2007 all the way to May of 2008. I stayed in my pop's crib. You know what I'm saying? And I was taking night classes there. My pops had also put me in like a 4-month rehab class. You know what I'm saying? They had me going in there every single Wednesday. And it was all the way out in like Bloomfield Hills, I think. This lady named Linda. And I still to this day think something negative or something crooked happened with going there. The people that suspended me for Southfield Regional Academic Campus told me I was suspended for 2 weeks, but they said that they would limit my suspension into 1 week if I went to one day, one class of a drug abuse class. If I went there for one specific session. And my dad signed me up from September all the way to December of 2007. So every single Wednesday, every single week, from October time 2007 all the way to December time of 2007, I was going on every single Wednesday to Bloomfield Hills. I think it was West Bloomfield Hills or something like that, to this lady office named Linda. And I sit around a whole bunch of people that had drug abuse problems, alcohol abuse problems. And I still remember it was this light-skinned lady named Samantha, and I used to have a crush on her there, but I never got her number. And I took night classes all the way up until like May of 2008. And then I graduated from Southfield Lathrop High. So I went to Southfield Regional Academic Campus, but I graduated from Southfield Lathrop High School, yo. Walked across the stage. And the reason why me and my sister did not walk across the stage back to back at the same time, because I got there late. And anybody that got there late had to wait till everybody else walked across the stage. And then they had to walk across the stage last. And my sister, the only reason why she was able to walk across the stage in alphabetical order, because she had to do a speech. She was in something called student council back in the year of 2007 to 2008. That was an after school program that she was in school. She was in something called student council. So she did a speech for our graduation. So they wasn't gonna let the lady who did a speech walk across the stage last. She automatically had to walk across the stage first. So she walked across the stage, and then after everybody else walked across the stage, I walked across the stage. That shit is on video. But some of the same dumbass niggas from my old neighborhood was running around lying, saying that nigga ain't graduated 2008. That nigga ain't graduated 2008. I went to his graduation. He didn't graduate in 08. I ain't seen him walk across the stage. I saw his sister walk across the stage, but he didn't walk across the stage. They didn't stay to the end of that graduation, yo. I still remember this one girl named Diamond calling me up saying, congratulations, I didn't even know that you was going to graduate in 08. So that's the whole rundown. I didn't even expect this video to be this motherfucking long, yo. It's 7:16 p.m., yo. July 15th, 2026. And I said this before, I'm going to say it again. A lot of my family members been attacked and been cloned. I got to speak on this. If it's a video of somebody doing something to me sexual in St. George, I've been raped in my sleep. I'm going to just be 100% honest on that. If somebody played me for a fool like that, yo, and I don't have anything against anybody, but the thought of somebody attacking family members of mine thinking they go get away with that kind of shit, yo, I said a long time ago, talk to me in person, because it's a lot of people in a big ass formed alliance making up lies about me, yo. Talk to me in fucking person. But sorry, God, for cussing. Forgive me, please, for all my sins. In Jesus' name, amen. On a positive note, God bless to everybody. I'm going to get up off this phone. I want to make sure I addressed everything that I was talking about. I thought this video was going to be 10 minutes long, but oh yeah, October 6th, October 7th, October 8th of 2023. I recorded a video and I said, some of these ladies has tried to give me shit tests in the past. They tried to basically get me to prove myself, prove my stripes to them to see if I was like worthy enough to talk to them. And I stated that some ladies that came around me, they tried to act like that they was the prize when they came around me, like it was a privilege for me to be around them. And I was laughing in this video that I recorded, but I never put this video on the internet that I recorded. I was treating my phone like a journal on this particular day of October 6th, October 7th, and October 8th of 2023. I recorded a total of like 5 hours worth of recording time, but it was 8 videos altogether. And I said that I got into so many fights when I was in middle school, yo, it wasn't even funny. Like everybody that knew me from middle school days and high school days, I got into so many fights in middle school days. By the time I got around high school days, a lot of people ain't even bother me. To be honest, when I got around 18, 19 years old, fighting was childish to me, yo. It was childish. Because I like, that was something that I did so much, that shit was childish. By the time I got around 18, 19, and I had a couple friends that, you know, lost their life earlier. Like, I was 15 years old when I first saw somebody get pulled out of a car, you know what I'm saying, dead from getting shot in broad daylight. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that ain't nothing to brag about, but I'm just saying that when I look at people who grew up in my old neighborhood and I look at the stuff that I've been through and I look at the stuff that a lot of other people endured, I am in shock to see how some people was walking around in St. George, South Carolina. People was walking around like I had to prove myself to them or something like that. Like I was in the suburbs my whole life or something, and now I'm in the hood. And I was looking like, no, yo, like, and I just laugh it off every time because I just be like, whatever, yo, I'm not getting off into that negativity. I already made it up in my mind a long time ago. That thug life is not for me. I went through that phase when I was a teenager. I ain't getting involved in any of that negativity. You know what I'm saying? But other people is 40 years old, 50 years old, and they getting jumped off in the gangs. It's men that are literally 40 plus years old and they joining gangs. And I'll be trying to figure out, like, it got to be about money. It got to be about money because I'll be trying to figure out what would make a man that age join a gang. And then somebody would like start disrespecting me and start doing me dirty. That's the crazy part. So I'll be looking at that situation like, I ain't never seen nothing like this. I just walk away like, God bless. Hey, God bless. I'm going to stay about that negativity. I'm going to stay away from all that over there. So with all that being said, yo, I said, like, anybody can ask anybody that I went to middle school days and high school days with. When I went to SRAC and stuff like that, I used to always go in the bathroom and shoot a fade and box with niggas and shit like that. I've been getting lied on for a long time. If it's somebody banking on me to come to Michigan in August, somebody let me know. You know what I'm saying? Let me know as soon as possible. Because for a long time now, I've been getting lied on. I've been getting framed. My people's talking about going to Michigan and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And if it's somebody like banking on me to come to Michigan, somebody let me know as soon as possible because I haven't talked to anybody. I wasn't going. So if it's somebody expecting me to come, that means I'm being lied to. I'm being lied on. It's a bunch of people moving in a secretive way, trying to maintain this lie over my life. And I'm tired of whoever this crooked ass person is that's working for the judicial system that's allowing so much negativity to happen, yo. I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of this shit. Any celebrity who think they ever talking back and forth with me, you never have, yo. You know what I'm saying? Anybody that's not a celebrity who been thinking they've been talking back and forth with me for the last few years, you wasn't talking to me. You was talking to somebody that was hacking in my phone and using artificial intelligence. The last time I used FaceTime was in like August time of 2000 or maybe September time of 2025 when this one dude named Jock that also was from my old neighborhood over there on Schoolcraft in Granville had FaceTime me. That was way back a whole year ago. I got a notification on my phone the other day stating that in order for this operation to work, FaceTime is required. I got a notification. I deleted that FaceTime app out of my phone like 3-4 months ago. So how is it somebody able to go on my phone and FaceTime somebody? That mean they using artificial intelligence. Or maybe I got a clone out here or something and then somebody trying to plotting and planning on trying to kill me or something like that. And then like, maybe that's what's going on. That's why I said, somebody please talk to me in person as soon as possible, yo, because I think they really like, I think a lot of these people in these secretive organizations is really out to get me, yo. Because I'm talking about stuff that, like, a lot of people probably never talked about before, or maybe I'm talking about stuff that, a lot of people just got a personal dislike toward me, and they feel like I don't like that guy. We go take his life or something like that. So it's 7:21 p.m. and it is July 15th, 2026, yo. So that's why I put my diploma up on the internet. That's why I did all of that. So if it's a bunch of people that's trying to reach out to me, I said before, I'm starting to think that if that was that dude, Kenneth Wilson, way back in the day, yo, that means that it's something going on. I don't know if that was him or not, though. Like I said, this nigga named Shamar Williams used to be my main homeboy back in the day. That used to be one of my main best friends. Back when I went to St. Christina Gemma from 1999 to the year 2000, then from the year 2000 to 2001, in fourth grade, I had a teacher named Miss Louise. In fifth grade, I had a teacher named Miss Siski. Sometimes I be thinking that a lot of times I be thinking that something got sent out to me, some type of inheritance was made for me or something like that, and people left me out on purpose. And then just try to use a bunch of people to frame me. Because I saw a couple people when I was in St. George. Maybe I was just in a reminiscent state of mind, but I saw a couple ladies in St. George that also looked like a couple people that went to my elementary school a long time ago. Another lady was a lady by the name of Ashley Reinhardt, I think. And I was saying that it was this one lady driving around, and it's like lime green, yellowish Wrangler, and I said that looked kind of like her, but I wasn't certain if that was her or not. So I could just be like going all left field and like talking about stuff that don't got nothing to do with nothing. But I'm just speaking on all of this because, like I said, I seen a lot of weird activity when I was in St. George, South Carolina, and the only way that people could be like trying to depict me to look like they talking to me is if they stand around where I live at, record a video, stage a scenery, and then push and promote it and give it to a judge. And then they stand around where I live at again. They stage another scenery. They tell somebody to talk to me in a negative, disrespectful way. That's been happening since 2009. Some dudes get the yelling, hooping, and hollering, and then somebody record it, and then they put it down and put it away, and then they upload it somewhere, then they frame me to look like I'm retarded because I walked away and chose to be the bigger man. And they'll try to make me look like I'm slow because I walked away from disrespect. It's some people out here that's millionaires, yo, they could literally call somebody out their name and then somebody be like, he insulted me and I'm suffering from pain and mental trauma because he called me out my name. It's really people that are opportunists like that in this world, yo. So, I'm about to get off this phone, yo. God bless to everybody. And again, February 20th, 2023. I walked in the Market gas station and I just asked someone, hey, bro, you know where the weed at? Whatever. And he was like, I don't know you. I'm like, yeah, but your cousin said you got weed. He's like, I don't know you, though. And I was just like, all right. You know what I'm saying? I recorded a video on my phone. I treated my phone like a journal on that particular night of February 20th, 2023, but I never uploaded that video on the internet, nor did I share that video to anybody. Nor did I share the videos that I recorded October 6th, October 7th, October 8th of 2023. When I said I used to get into so many fights when I was younger, it wasn't even funny, yo. Like, I used to go in the bathroom and just box with dudes. Everybody knew that. So when I realized that thug life is really not me, I'm more joyous about just hanging out with the ladies and stuff like that and joking around and stuff like that, whatever. It got a little bit more peaceful for me. But everybody has went into the videos that I recorded in the past. They edited them, and then they got me saying stuff that I never said before. So now it's kind of sort of like I'm speaking vindication on myself all over again because I got to speak on all of this other stuff that I talked about. Everything that I'm talking about, I talked about it in 2023. Only thing that's new is my God. The main thing that's new is now I said family members of mine been cloned, family members of mine been attacked. A whole bunch of scandalizing activity has been ongoing. Sometimes I think some type of big ass parade or party or something took place in St. George and people purposely left me out of it. Or something happened that I got left outside of. You feel me? Because I had a dream in November. This was around like November 2024 when I was in a tiny home shelters over there on 3rd and Coronado Street in Los Angeles, California, yo. And I'm in tiny home unit number 15, and I get this weird feeling, yo, after I woke up from this dream. I'm sitting in the car, and this one dude was like, hey, man, did you ever get that money we sent? You ever get that money? And then this other dude put a lighter up to this dude's face and was like, shut the fuck up. Don't say nothing. You know what I'm saying? And it was 3 homeless dudes in the car. And so it was 5 people in the car altogether. I was in the car, and it was 3 other homeless dudes in the car. Like, shut up. Don't say nothing. So I feel like something happened in L.A. where people played me for a fool. started up some type of a GoFundMe, and then they probably made it look like that I was getting bullied by everybody, and then started up some type of a GoFundMe, or probably lied on me and tried to make it look like I stole from somebody, and then started up some GoFundMe for somebody else. But I said before, it's been times people talk crazily rude and reckless to me and disrespectful. Next thing you know, I see them walking around with a whole new like wardrobe and all of that. So that's what made me come to the realization that it's a lot of people in these secretive organizations paying people to disrespect me, yo. This has been going on a while. Positive note, God bless to everybody, yo.